Hello and welcome to Prudent Media. My name is Sachin Chatte, and 2nd of July is celebrated as Sports Journalist Day. Now, I have a little bit of experience as a sports journalist in the sense of doing commentary for cricket matches. But with us on the show today, I have two gentlemen who have vast experience as far as sports journalism is concerned. I have Mr. Jovito Lopez, a household name when it comes to covering sports in Goa, and Mr. Manguesh Borkar, who has also been covering sports in Goa for a very, very long time. Gentlemen, a very warm welcome to this show and thank you very much for joining us.
Yes.
So I'll start with you, Jovito. You've been covering sports for a long time now, and you've seen both sides of journalism. As a sports journalist, you see how other journalists also function. What do you think is the main difference, for being a sports journalist rather than just a normal journalist?
First of all, let me congratulate Prudent for taking up this great initiative. And also, let me salute to Sachin for taking up this program on Sports Journalist Day. Thank you very much. Your question is the most appropriate one that you have addressed. Journalism in the days gone by and journalism now is totally different. Today you can sit anywhere and you can file your report, you can send your pictures. It wasn't so in the earlier days. Then you have the Google, whatever details, whatever nitty-gritty you need about anything, it's there at the fingertips. In our days, we never had these opportunities with us. It was very, very tough. And moreover, in our days, we never had colleges and schools where the professional courses were taught to us. We learned on the desk without knowing exactly what to do and how to go about. But today, it's totally a different picture. Added to that, you have got social media, you have got the digital media and whatnot. So things are changing, but the basic is the same. What we call it about the Bible of covering sports is the same. Unless and until you have a mastery over the rules of the game, unless you know the application of the rules, and then unless and until you know what is involved in with the teams, their preparations and pre-match, post-match, all those things which are coming new now. And as you know now, anything and everything today is expected of a sports journalist. So you have to move to be on the move for almost 24 or 25 hours of the day. Things have changed. Things have become very, very professional. You talk about football, for example, it's become thoroughly professional. And if you're not conversant with all the rules and the regulations, then you'll feel that you are isolated. You'll feel out of the place. This was not the picture in our days when we started. In our days, anything chalega. And when I started with the first newspaper, that was the Navin Times, there was only one column on the last page. And then it evolved. Today we have got 3 or 4 pages. It's become very, very, very competitive. And there is a great scope for sports journalists, which was not there in the days gone by.
Manguesh, you've been covering sports for such a long time now. And according to you, tumka kiti dista ki what are the changes that have occurred during your career as a sports journalist?
Yes. Actually, from 1970s, I start केले sports career from 1970s. First I was राष्ट्रमता आशिल्लो आणि राष्ट्रमतांतल्यान मागीर थंय बांदोडकर ट्रॉफी, संतोष ट्रॉफी आमगेली गोंया पहिली संतोष ट्रॉफी जाली 1972-73 खूप वर्ष जाली. Actually संतोष ट्रॉफी was introduced in 1941-42 पण गोंया ते जावपाक आणि AIFFची ऑल इंडिया फुटबॉल फेडरेशनाची गोवा फुटबॉल असोसिएशना मान्यता मेळपाक बरोच वेळ लागलो, बरीच वर्ष लागली. गोवा हॅज टू स्ट्रगल टू गेट ऑल इंडिया फुटबॉल फेडरेशन आणि तेन्ना खूप वेगळे प्रकरण आसताले. आता जे पळय चेंज जालां तेन्ना आमकां प्रत्यक्ष ग्राउंडार वचून आमकां कव्हर करचे पडटाले आणि तेन्ना स्पोर्ट्स जो पळय आसा ग्राउंडार जे पळय कितें चलता तेच आमी दिताले. म्हणजे आता फुटबॉल कोण जिंकलो कोण हरलो इतलेच आमी दिताले किंवा कोणे कसो गोल मारलो हे. पूण आतां खुबशी चेंजीस जाल्या. आतां प्रिव्यू म्हणून आसता, मॅची पयलीं फाल्यां कोण जिखतलो, तो कसो सेमी फायनली पावलो, तो फायनली कसो पावलो. आतां फायच्यान तुगेले क्वॉर्टर फायनल सुरू जाता युरो कप, जे 8 टिमी ज्यो पळय भितर ज्यो पळय गेल्यात त्यो कश्यो सेमी फायनली क्वॉर्टर फायनली पावल्यो. खंयची टिमीक तुगेले खंयची टीमीक बरो चान्स आसा, अशे पद्दतीचे टिमी भितर कितें चल्लां, कोण कोणाचेर कोंत्र आसा, म्हणजे ज्यो पळय असल्यो ज्यो पळय गजाली आसा त्यो लोकांक खूब जाय पडल्या. आनी पयलीं आमी जे पळय आसा ते प्रत्यक्ष मैदानार वचून आमी कवर करताले. तेन्ना प्लेयर्स आनी आमचे भितर एक संबंद आसतालो. आमकां ते प्लेयर वळखताले, हो बाब बोरकार, हो जोवितो लोपेज, कळ्ळें तुका, ब्रुनो कुटिन्हो म्हण, रॉय फेर्नांडीस म्हण, किंवा आमगेलो ब्रह्मानंद म्हण, आमकां वळखताले. आतां आमी ग्रावंडार वचनात, कित्याक आतां आमचे कडेन सगळी तुगेली हे सोशल मिडिया जाला, व्हॉट्सएप जाला, इंटरनेट जाला. तूं हांगसरल्या क्लिक इन्फो मारल्यार तुका डिटेल स्कोर मेळटा, तुका ग्रावंडार वचपाक गरज ना. पूण ग्रावंडार वचून जे पळय तूं पळय हें करता, स्पोर्ट्स जर्नलिझम करता, तूं जी न्यूज करता, तातूंत जे पळय एक्युरेसी आसता ती तुगेली हातूंत तर ना. लक्षांत आयलें. आनी तेन्ना एक बरोबर आमकां कितें आसता, तेन्ना एक बरोबर आमकां नेहरू स्टेडियमाचेर फुटबॉल चलता, एमसीसीचेर टेबल टेनीस चलता, बीपीएसाचेर फातोर्डा स्विमींग पुलाचेर स्विमींग चलता, आनी आमी एकटोच. आतां तरी एटलिस्ट स्पेशलायझेशन जालां. फुटबॉल एकटो पळयता, तुगेलो क्रिकेट एकटो रिपोर्टर पळयता. त्या प्रमाण ते पयलीं आमी तशें नाशिल्ले, आमी वन इन ऑल. पयलीं आमी वन इन ऑल आशिल्ले. आमकां सगळे गेमीचें ज्ञान घेवचें पडटालें, आनी खबर ना जाल्यार पासून खबर आसा म्हूण दाखोवन ते बातमी करचे पडटाली. आतां कंप्लीट चेंज जाला.
Jovito, you mentioned about Google and social media coming in and in many ways helping journalists. But as Manguesh rightly pointed out, there is also some elements that are missing nowadays, like interaction with players and things like that. So there has been a flip side to it as well, right?
Yes. Always there are two sides to any development. What I meant to say is that the facilities that are there today to cover an event, you have a pre-match conference, you have on-the-spot one-to-one interviews, and then you have got post-match analysis. This is a great boost for the development of the sport.
And also, would you say that, any outsider would think, a small state like Goa, now our population is 15 lakhs, earlier it was even less. How much sports happens in Goa and do we really need a sports journalist? But they don't know the amount of sporting activities that happen in Goa, whether it's football, whether it's swimming. There are so many activities that happen even in a small state like ours.
Sachin, you are absolutely correct. The amount of activities, the amount of sports disciplines have multiplied to a very large extent. Not only that, earlier we had only the National Football Santosh Trophy Championship. There's only one national event. Now you have events in many other disciplines. For example, we hosted the Lusophonia Games. You had so many disciplines. Now we are heading perhaps for the national games with so many other disciplines. So there has been quite a proliferation of the sports discipline in Goa. Unfortunately, not everybody is getting their due publicity.
आणि मंगेश बाब, तुम्ही इतले वर्ष आता स्पोर्ट्स कव्हर करता. Now, it's not just as a journalist to cover the sports, but you must be also seeing how infrastructure has changed. What is the development of sports that has happened overall in the state of Goa? What are your thoughts on that?
आम्ही तुगेलो फातोर्डा स्टेडियम बांदताले तेन्नाच्यान पासून आमी थंय आशिल्ले. स्टेडियम कसो वयर सरला तो आमकां खबर आसा. मॉन दी क्रूज तेन्ना प्रियरंजन दास मुन्शी बी AIFFचो तुगेलो प्रेसिडेंट आशिल्लो. आनी तेन्ना तुगेले स्पेशली इट वॉज फर्स्ट डिझायन ओनली फॉर फुटबॉल. मागीर तो प्रशांत जोशी आशिल्लो गोवा क्रिकेट, ताणें मागीर ताका मातशें अशें ओवल हें दिलें. म्हणजे तो इट कॅन बी यूज फॉर मल्टी स्पोर्ट्स कॉम्प्लेक्स तो जालो. म्हणजे आतां खूब फॅसिलिटीज जाल्या. आतां एस्ट्रो टर्फ जाला, नॅचरल टर्फ जाला, ग्रास जाला. तूं आतां पयलीं आमचे शेतां पळय फुटबॉल पळयताले ती आतां परिस्थिती ना. खुबश्यो म्हणजे फॅसिलिटी, म्हणजे आतां ड्रेसिंग रूम जाल्या. पयलीं ड्रेसिंग रूम नाशिल्ले. पयलीं प्लेयर्स भायरूच बसून बूट घालताले आनी वी यूज टू गो एंड एडमायर देम. म्हगेलो आवडीचो ब्रुनो कुटिन्हो आसा, म्हज्या आवडीचो ब्रह्मानंद. हांव ताजे म्हऱ्या वचून इवन आय हॅव डन सो मेनी थिंग्स. तांणी बूट पसून काडून दिवप, मे दिवप. आमी तांचे गोला फाटल्यान रावताले. तांकां हें करप, तांकां तांचे कडेन उलोवप, अश्यो गजाली जाताल्यो. आतां तें घडना. आतां घडना म्हणजे इन्फ्रास्ट्रक्चर जरी वाडले, देर आर सो मेनी रिस्ट्रिक्शन्स आर देर. खूब रिस्ट्रिक्शन्स आसात की एकदम तूं प्लेयरां म्हऱ्यान वचूंक शकना. आतां जेन्ना तुगेली हांगसर तुगेली ISL जाता तेन्ना आमचे खूब रिस्ट्रिक्शन्स आसा. वी हॅव टू गो टू सर्टन प्लेसीस ओनली. वी कॅनॉट गो डायरेक्टली अँड मीट द प्लेयर्स for press. Only we can meet during the press conferences. That too only coach and the captain or a player who is deputed by the team. अशें इतलेंच. म्हणजे अश्यो परिस्थिती जाल्या कळ्ळें तेन्ना. आनी आतां खूब फरक जाला. आतां इन्फ्रास्ट्रक्चर जरी वाडले तरी गोंयचें जर धरलें, गोंयचें फुटबॉल कॉन्ट्रिब्युशन टू नेशन इज खूब, फुटबॉलाक खूब आसा. पूण आतांची परिस्थिती जर पळयत जाल्यार आमगेली एक हार्डली 1 to 2 players are representing India in football. आमच्या साळगांवकार स्पोर्ट्स क्लब आतां ना, धेपो स्पोर्ट्स क्लब ना, स्पोर्टिंग क्लब दी गोवा ना. ते तुगेले आय लिगा पार्टिसिपेट जाना. ओन्ली वन टीम. पयलीं आमगेले साळगांवकार, धेपो, स्पोर्टिंग क्लब दी गोवा, वास्को क्लब, मागीर तो सेजा गोवा, हे सगळी टिमी तुगेल्यो आय लिगे नॅशनल लिगे पार्टिसिपेट जाल्यो. आतां ओन्ली वन चर्चिल ब्रदर्स इज पार्टिसिपेटिंग. बाकीचे सगळे कुशीन चल्ले. बट स्टील आनी एक भितर मजा म्हळ्यार कितें, दीज ऑल क्लब्स जे पळय आहा दे हॅव अंडरटेकन तुगेले ग्रास रूट लेवल डेव्हलपमेंट फुटबॉल. ग्रास रूट क्रिकेटीच जर उलयतलो जाल्यार खूब वायट दिसता. आमकां दिलीप सरदेसाय सोडले जाल्यार आनी एक्काय प्लेयरान तुगेले इंडिया रिप्रेझेंट करूं ना. इट इज अ व्हेरी सॅड थिंग. तशें खूब डिसिप्लीन जाला, खूब डेव्हलपमेंट जाला. पयर चीफ मिनिस्टरान म्हळां तुगेले CKT फुटबॉल तळावलीचें इनॉग्रेशन करतना ताणें म्हळां, CMन म्हळां की गोंयांत खूब डेव्हलपमेंट जाला, इन्फ्रास्ट्रक्चर जाला. बट वी होप गूड प्लेयर्स तयार जावचे, बरे प्लेयर तयार जावचे, जे तयार जायनात. एक्चुअली ISL तुका फॉरेन प्लेयरां बरोबर खेळपाक मेळटा. यू गेट वास्ट एक्सपिरियन्स. बट स्टील गोंयचो जो पळय डेव्हलपमेंट जो पळय जावपाक जाय आशिल्लो तितलो एज फार एज ग्राउंड लेवल इज कन्सर्न, म्हणजे ग्राउंडाचेर प्रत्यक्ष जो पळय खेळटा डेव्हलपमेंट जाला, इन्फ्रास्ट्रक्चर खूब जाला. पूण तुगेले प्लेयर जो पळय आसा ग्राउंडार खेळपाक तांकीचो प्लेयर असो तितले बरे येनात. Yes, जालें.
Manguesh Bap has touched a very interesting subject, and Jovito Bap, I would like to know your thoughts because he spoke about a sport which is very, very close to you. Extreme of all the sports, I guess it would be fair to say that football is closest to you. So your thoughts on it about how football has evolved in Goa? Are we going the right direction? Is it static? Is it moving backwards?
Sachin, you have to see the overall picture of football development today.
Covered the sport,
because
such a long time now.
At one time, Goa and Bengal were the dominating teams,
Powerhouses,
as powerhouses in football. Today, the picture is not so. You have got teams from the northeast. You have got teams from all over now which are competing. Bombay is coming back now. Bengaluru is coming back. So Kerala
was always there. Yeah.
Yes. So there is a revival of football at all levels. And if you have seen the last India team that participated now in Qatar, there were 4 or 5 Goans. To have 4 or 5 Goans is quite a creditable performance for Goa in football. Football is developing much more at a faster pace as far as the youngsters are concerned in the northeast. And if the northeast people are scoring over Goa, is because of their endurance, and that endurance is coming from their strong physique that they have. So there is a strong competition now for Goa, and unless the Goans take it up very seriously, and there are now big opportunities in ISL, for example. We had a boy from Sangen who was an unknown, and he was picked up by Kerala Blasters, and that is how things have developed. They are growing in a proper way. Lot of our own teams have launched grassroots programs. They have launched youth development programs. Unfortunately, this Corona-19 problem has come up, because if the youngsters, if the grassroots don't play for about 6 to 8 or 9 months, the development will be hampered to a great extent. But we are going in the right direction. Certainly, much more needs to be done. Lot of efforts are needed. infrastructure today, fortunately, is there. We cannot complain that we do not have good infrastructure. It is there. It was created especially during the Lusophonia Games. And I think little more effort, more sacrifice, and more administration is needed when I talk about professionalism. If we become now professionals, if all clubs that we have, all clubs need to be little more professional, and we need also other clubs to come at the national level, especially in the I League, in the ISL League. We need at least one or two more clubs, both at ISL level as well as the I League level.
Yes, absolutely right. And there's no dearth of opportunities in that sense, as it was mentioned earlier that once upon a time there was only Santosh Trophy or a few other trophies, but now there is the ISL, there is the I League. There are so many opportunities there for youngsters who can probably make the best of it. But what would you say was the golden era as far as football is concerned? The Brahmanand, Bruno Coutinho days, or what would be your favorite era of football in Goa?
Yeah, Sachin, you are absolutely right. Those were the days we had stalwarts, we had superstars, and unfortunately, it's not being replicated of now. So there is a certain decline when you talk of Bruno, for example, you talk of Brahmanand, you talk of Mauricio, and all those. We are not having good strikers. We are not having good goalkeepers. I don't know what's wrong, because unless you score goals, you cannot win the matches. So there are deficiencies, and I hope so the coaches that we have with these big teams will evolve some formula to develop our goals to become better strikers. We have got plenty of midfielders. If you have seen the last India team, most of them were midfielders and one or two defenders. But we need one or two or three good strikers, and there has not been a substitute for Brahmanand. And earlier to that, we had outstanding goalkeepers. It's not happening. I really don't know where we are missing on that point, Sachin. You are absolutely right, Sachin.
Yes, and there's no dearth of enthusiasm among the people also. When you go out on the roads, you can tell that there is a Goa match, FC Goa match happening just by the traffic that is there on the road. So there is no dearth of enthusiasm. There is a lot of talent as well. But I was shocked to learn recently, or rather a couple of years back, when I discovered that even a state like Punjab has won the Santosh Trophy more times than Goa. And Punjab is not exactly known for its, football. They are more into hockey and other sports. But, we definitely need to pull up our socks on that count. But Manguesh Borkar, please.
Sachin, I would just like to share with you the scenario of Santosh Trophy now. Santosh Trophy, then, you could select the best available talent from your state. As of now, for the last 4 or 5 years, the best talent of Goan football is either with the ISL clubs or it is with the I League clubs. Now the AIFF has said players who are in ISL, players who are in I League clubs, they cannot take part in your state team for the nationals. So this is a problem that we need to overcome. There has to be a strategy to fight off this, but there is a problem. I agree with you.
Right. Manguesh Bab, tumka kisi dista? Should players be allowed to play? Or do you think it's a good move on the part of AIFF? Because if they're representing the clubs and they cannot play in the other trophy?
ना कित्याक दोन्ही बाजू असतात. दोन्ही बाजू आसा. जर हांगा जर प्लेयर जर बरे प्लेयर जर हांगसर खेळपाक जर दिले ना जाल्यार गोवा कॅन प्रोड्यूस फॉर गोवन टीम बरे प्लेयर सिलेक्ट करपाक जाता. बरी ट्रेनिंग दिवन तांकां बरे प्लेयर करपाक जाता. एंड दोज प्लेयर्स फ्रॉम आय लीग एंड ISL कॅन बी रिजर्व फॉर द इंडियन टीम. म्हणजे ते तशें सामकें तशें वायट अशें मूव ना. बट एट द सेम टायम 1 or 2 they may allow to strengthen the team, state team. To strengthen the state team, एक दोग जाण बरे बाबा तूं हांगा you can allow you play अशें कितें रुल्स करपा जाय. आणि इवन संतोष ट्रॉफी आता एज बी आसा. अंडर 23 they can play more. Only about 25 तुका 1-2 प्लेयर you can include. अशें कितें रूल आसता का संतोष ट्रॉफीचो. आणि गोवा has won 5 times संतोष ट्रॉफी and they have reached 13 times in the final. संतोष ट्रॉफी गोवा तसो आमकां हें बरें आसा. रेपो बरें आसा. पूण फाटल्या 8-10 वर्सां तितले बरेशे आमी फायनली पावतात. सेमी फायनल पासून पावता. पूण कित तरी I don't know what is happening.
What I would like to add to what Mangesh said, In Goa, we need a very strong youth development program.
Yes.
So if the focus is not on this under 18, under 16, under 14, then you will not have new players and you will not have upcoming stars. So unless that happens, and that is where the football should now concentrate on the youngsters, because it is mandatory now to field 2 or 3 under 20 players. So unless this grows and unless there's a rethinking strategically by the administrators of football, it will take a little time for us to reach to the top once again. But things are moving in the right direction. It will take a little time, but more effort, more finances are also needed.
Right. Manguesh Bab,
Sachin,
please,
I want to just point out one thing. की पहिली जे पे आसा हे जे पे I don't know about other states or other हे पण as far as Goa is nowadays हे जे पे print media or electronic media आसा पळय ते तुका फक्त only sports journalist म्हणून भितर employee घेनात, sports editor किंवा sports reporter म्हणूनच घेनात. Now they सगळे काम ते वाटून दितात. You have to do sports, you have to do culture, you have to do म्हणजे आता some very few are there like Marcus Mergulam is there, Kishore Petkar is there, Sandeep Redkar. There are very few. आमचे फाटल्यान ते थोडेशे आसात. बाकी as far as other हे तुगे printing press बाकीचे जर publications जर पळय, they are not employing special sports journalists.
Correct. All in one journalist.
Even electronic media म्हणजे जो कोण पळय डेस्कार बसता, इवन ही गोज एंड तुगेले हे करता, रिपोर्ट करता. अशी परिस्थिती झाली. As far as Goa is concerned, I don't know about other states. As far as Goa, what I know,
I think that's the scenario in all medias nowadays, and I'm guessing that it's also changed. Rather than going into in-depth of that subject or really looking into it, from a specialist point of view, it's just like, okay, somebody has to cover the event. It has to be published or be broadcast, but it's not so much of some expert talking on it in that sense. But Manguesh Bab, let's talk about the other the common passion in India and related to Goa and journalism, which is cricket. There was a time when we used to see a lot of big stars coming to Goa and play cricket. Yes. I'm sure you've seen many of them. You've covered many of those matches, right from Azharuddin to, even in the previous days, from Srinath to VVS Lakshman, yes, to so many players who used to come to play to Goa, and you have had a chance to interact with them. Yes. So talk us to a little bit about that, of those days which have gone by.
Right. पहिले आर्लम ट्रॉफी जाताली हांगसर. मागीर आर्लम ट्रॉफी जाताली आनी आर्लम ट्रॉफी तुगेले सगळे भायले प्लेयर येताले. I have the opportunity to interview Dilip Vengsarkar, Sachin Tendulkar, मागीर आमगेलो हो जो आसा कोच, क्रिकेटीचो कोच रवी शास्त्री, Prudent, कपिल देव, हांवें सगळे हांचे इंटरव्यू घेतल्यात. Even Sachin, when he was just once he came to play single wicket Bukam cricket हांगसर जाली, single wicket. तेन्ना तुका संजय मांद्रेकर, विनोद कांबळी, सचिन तेंडुलकर हे स्पेशली येताले आनी बरे आमकां उलोवपाक मेळटा तांचे कडेन. वी हॅड ए गुड हे कळ्ळी. आनी वी हॅव ऑल्सो ऑपॉर्च्युनिटी टू कवर इंटरनॅशनल मॅचीस. म्हणजे तुगेलो श्रीलंकेचो अर्जुन रणतुंगा, अरविंद डी सिल्वा, इंग्लंडाचे प्लेयर, न्यूझीलंडाचे प्लेयर हांचे कडेन आमकां इंटरॅक्ट करपाक मेळटालें. कळ्ळें. आज सद्या गोंयांत तुगेलें हें जायना. दुसरी गजाल, एज फार रणजी प्लेयर्स आर कन्सर्न, जे आतां पळय नॅशनला रिप्रेझेंट करतात, ते रणजी प्लेयर्स रणजी टिमी खेळनात. तातूंतल्यान हांगसर पळय कोण रणजी खेळपा येता बाकीच्या स्टेटीचो, तो एक दुसरो म्हणजे सेकंड टीम कशी आसता. आनी जे कोण पळय विनोद आमगेलो विराट कोहली म्हण किंवा आमगेलो हे जे पळय आसात कळ्ळें, ते तो रणजी ट्रॉफी खेळनात. दे आर नॉट रिप्रेझेंटींग स्टेट. तातूंतल्यान कितें जालां, बरे प्लेयर्स जे पळय ते हांगसर येनात.
Right. Jovito, you also must be having very fond memories of interacting with players and talking to them. So share some of your memories.
Let me share with you that when the Nehru Stadium was being built, because I was involved both in the concept of the Nehru Stadium, and if Nehru Stadium came, it was because of the Nehru Cup. And everybody said, we are hosting the Nehru Cup and you need to build a stadium. So as it was being built, Mr. Joshi was the secretary of the Goa Cricket Association. He came up with the idea that with the sports minister, then Mr. Mondecruz, And he said, Mandbab, आम्ही एक बरो क्रिकेट मॅच करूया आणि मद क्रूज फुल्लो तूं हालो इंडिया पाकिस्तान करता and Joshi said yes I can do it because Jagmohan Dalmia पडे त्यांना आशिल्लो तो ताजो बरो फ्रेंड आशिल्लो. So he says yes we will work, and because Joshi and the Goa Cricket Association said we will try and have one day India Pakistan match, we will redesign. And I remember I was taken to Eden Gardens in Kolkata, and they said yes this is how it should be.
Which
So
year
it
was this?
I don't remember now exactly.
Somewhere mid-80s, yeah, probably.
78 or 79 it could be. I'm not very sure on the date. Yeah, we are growing old after all.
No, it's just so fascinating to hear these stories. You know, I mean,
yes. Yeah, because and then Monte Cruz says, "Are much oval shaped also Korea. That is the reason why Goa was fortunate to host several one-day international matches where you have seen the best of stars at that time, and that is how cricket has grown up. Unfortunately, problems were there, and unfortunately today there has not been a very serious match. We even had a very high-level match at Panjim Gymkhana ground. I don't remember exactly now whether it was Sri Lanka or which team, but a match was played in Panjim, New Zealand. Yeah, you are right. So yes. you can understand the fever which was there, the following, and cricket was a great rival of football in those days, and they lived up to the expectations by inviting several stars renowned in the world, including all the stars of India. So when you interact with them, when you see them, that is the biggest boost what we have had in Goa. Unfortunately, I don't know, we do not have now a cricket stadium, though they are toying with the idea somewhere in the North Goa. But you need to have a proper infrastructure for any game to develop.
Right. And now it's, of course, BCCI has made it mandatory that every association should have its own cricket stadium. Only then they'll allot matches.
Yes.
So as a result, for the last few years, we've not seen any international matches.
Yeah, due to several problems, inherent problems that we have, cricket now has taken a little bit of a backseat as far as Goa is concerned. But let me tell you, the craze which is there for cricket is something astonishing.
Yes, as they say, Bollywood cricket and sports is one thing that binds the whole country together.
Yes, it is.
Right. It's lovely to hear all these stories. I wish you could continue this conversation even longer, but unfortunately, time has caught up with us. But it was so nice to hear all your views on it, your experiences of being a sports journalist. And thank you very much, gentlemen, Manguesh Bap and Jovito Bap, for joining us on this special program on the occasion of Sports Journalist Day. Well, I hope you enjoyed the broadcast. Thank you very much.
Excellent. It was an excellent idea. Let me congratulate you as the host. You have done a wonderful job, and all those who have worked behind the scenes, and to Prudent Media, congratulations once again.
They say you don't need a reason to shop at a sale. I say, you've got to be kidding. My reason? Fashion. Get ready for India's hottest fashion sale, featuring the world's biggest brands. The season of reason is coming.